And hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Box Office Shuffle. It's our starting episode for season 2, since we took a little bit of a break for the holiday season, and the Super Bowl is right around the corner. Unfortunately, the Chiefs are still in it. And
Boo.
we're going to be doing a football movie to kick things off here for Box Office Shuffle, because if you don't know what we do, we take our physical media collections between the three of us, or in this case, the four of us, which we'll get to in a moment. We take our physical collections, put them in a randomizer, it spits out a movie, and that's what we're going to talk about. But obviously, for the inaugural episode, we don't know what the film's going to be. So this is a little 5-minute brief intro where we'll pick our movie and give our very initial brief thoughts on the film before we actually watch it. And then we'll have a part 2, a little hard cut, and actually get into the movie. I'm your host, Thomas, a.k.a. Mr. Warburg. Joining me, as always, is Gamma, Chris, a.k.a. Gamma. Excuse me. I messed that up already.
Yo!
We're off to a rockin' start.
Hell yeah.
Of course,
Professionalism.
of course, we have Joe, a.k.a. Joe.
Hey.
And our first guest for Box Office Shuffle in the run of the show so far, we have our longtime collaborator and friend, Patrick, a.k.a. Mr. Fusion.
Greetings and salutation, movie lovers. I am here. We are talking football movies.
Indeed, we are, because as I said, Super Bowl right around the corner, and I somehow have to choose between Philadelphia and the Chiefs. And as a Vikings fan, I don't want to pick either, because I'm just tired of always knowing the Vikings will never have a chance. It's like Bills fans, hey, you've had a good few years, and you've had great teams. You keep running into the Chiefs. But for history's sake, you mostly have sucked. Not quite Lions level suck, but you've never been that good. The Vikings are the 8th winningest franchise of all time in the NFL history, and we've never even sniffed a Super Bowl victory. It's like, what the fuck? This is horseshit. But we're going to keep it light. We're going to actually talk football films. We've got a list of 15 movies that we put together. We had some duplicates that we all kind of happen to own. I think the replacements a few of us own. The newest, longest yard a couple of us own. So we've got a list. I'll give you the rundown here. Oh wait, I did forget a couple. Hang on.
And as the old head of the group here, I have the original Longest Yard.
Oh, yeah.
One of the pinnacle football movies of the 70s, North Dallas 40. So I put some of my old head collection out there, man.
Actually, I did
Heck
forget
yeah.
3. I didn't grab your entire list, Fusion. So we have 18 films on the list. So here is the rundown. I'm going to take us to the wheel spin page.
The Rundown is not a football movie.
Oh, that's true. It has a guy who played football, but
It's true.
it is not a football. Although it does feature in the character did play football.
The character did play football, yes. But
Yeah.
did you know the original name for that movie?
No,
It's
I
called
don't.
El Dorado.
Really?
Yes, it was originally called Hell Dorado, and they thought it was really stupid, so they just called it The Rundown.
Interesting.
That is actually. I mean, if we circle back to that, because I think I own it. That one I'll try to keep in the back of my mind. So here is our list of 18 films. The aforementioned The Replacements, one of my all-time favorite sports comedies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just period.
So good.
The Program, which I've owned. I don't know if I've ever actually watched it. I have it on DVD. We have The Two Longest Yards, Leatherheads,
Mhm.
Rudy, of course, Invincible, starring Marky Mark, Gridiron Gang, Any
Okay.
Given Sunday, Brian's Song, which is a very heavy movie. So I kind of hope we don't get that one.
Yeah,
Right.
same.
The Waterboy,
Okay.
Little Giants, Varsity
Little-
Blues, We Are Marshall, Remember the Titans, The Blind Side, which we could have a lot of background with all the news about that. Wait,
Oh,
who is
yeah.
it? Is it? It's Orr, right? It's Michael Orr.
Michael Orr, yeah.
Yeah.
Or-
I had Ogden in my brain, and I was like, no, it's not him. But,
Oh,
North Dallas 40, and
Okay.
The Last Boy Scout.
okay.
Those are the films on the wheel page here.
Okay.
So anything you guys are like, man, I'm kind of hoping we don't get this one, other than, for me, due to the thematic nature of the film, even though it is it's a tragic story, I kind of hope we don't get Brian's Song. That's a really heavy one to
Yeah, oh,
start out
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be, I don't think I'm going to be controversial in this panel, but I do want to say, just given what we know about Rudy himself as a person,
Mhm.
watching that movie now as an adult, it hits a lot different when I was a kid. You know, now you know that he's a piece of shit and the whole thing was a kind of a joke, it's like, okay, yeah, but it's a quintessential football movie. That's one, Brian's song, and I'm probably gonna say just Remember the Titans, only because I love the movie, but I'm looking to get juiced up here, guys. That's what I'm looking
Oh
for.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
Super Bowl week. So that's what I was going to ask. Since we're in a new season, if
Okay.
you guys want to, do we want to curate the list a little bit before I hit the spin?
No, chaos. Let's go.
Let chaos reign?
I
Yep.
do enjoy
All
chaos.
about it.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of new seasons as well, I was going to bring up some things we had discussed, and maybe this is just kind of a live, recap of a prior discussion we had had before the season started. One of the things we're going to do this season, on top of talking about our movies, is do a better job like listing what we've watched, and kind of the community aspect of it. So we're all going to have Letterboxd accounts, which obviously as a guest, Fusion, I don't know if you used Letterboxd.
It's been a while, but I can go dust mine off. Yeah.
You do not have to be clear, as a guest. But we might get your score and include that in, because I'm going to have a Letterboxd, like, proper box office shuffle account where we're going to average all of our scores for a film. So we might get your score out of 5 on the 3, 3.5, 4, 4.55 kind of scale for whatever film we watch. And all that stuff will be linked down below in the description, and you can find it on our social media channels as well. So, without any further ado, gentlemen, let's spin the wheel.
Shuffle hard.
And away we go. Box office shuffling is underway. We're getting close. Oh, we're going with the kids' comedy classic, Little Giants.
Yes, this is the one that I wanted. I wanted this one the most.
Yes.
Yes.
That was one of my top
you
ones. I
feel
was like,
it.
I haven't seen this forever. It's such a good movie.
I
From what I
haven't.
remember.
I genuinely haven't watched it since I was like maybe 10. Oh man.
Oh, I'm
I'm
so
excited.
excited.
Oh.
I was like, man, I'm gonna hate the Super Bowl. Like for me, the season of football is over. I just want to watch a fun slapstick football movie for this, and I was like, I hope it's Little Giants.
Yes.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Indeed. We're going to be
Yes.
watching Little Giants. We'll talk shop here privately about when we're going to watch the movie with our Discord and pick a time for that. So it'll be a little of a hard cut here in a couple of seconds as we get into part 2 of our inaugural episode of season 2. And we'll catch you guys on the other side. And we're back for part 2. Now, we did a little hard cut and we're back into the actual episode proper. We just got done watching Little Giants, a film from 1994. It came out of Patrick's collection as one of our guests. As you know, in case I need to reiterate for the show, this is where we take our physical media collections, put them in a randomizer, and we watch a movie and talk about it. So we watched Little Giants. So some facts and figures. Before we get into that, though, guys, I think we'd all seen this before.
Right.
We had a couple people in our Discord community join us that had not seen it before, and they enjoyed it. Very, openly enjoyed it. So, did this hold up for you? Before we get into any nitty-gritty weeds and stuff, did it hold up?
You know
you
what?
remember it?
You know what, man? This is a 1994 movie, and I can tell you, as someone that's recently gone through my collection and watched some 90s movies, this actually looks like it's like I'm talking about the print looks really good for 1994 compared to some of the other I'm talking about big budget 93, 94, 95 movies out there. This looked really I was surprised how good this looked going back and watching it. A lot of elements hold up. Yep.
What format were we watching? Did we have a DVD rip?
We were watching a DVD rip in 720. So
it looks fantastic.
Great.
It looked great. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, I didn't realize how good this would look. But like I said, I've gone back and watched a couple of movies that are mid 90s as well recently, and you could tell that different stocks were used on a lot of different movies, man, because some high-end films look like crap from the mid 90s now compared to this. But I think it held up well for 1994 overall. I thought it was a good movie, but I think it held up well in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really stuck out to me. It's like, man, this is. I remember the Mighty Ducks more because I watched that more as a kid. But Little Giants, we never owned, but I had seen it a couple of times. And man, it really is just a really solid 90s kids movie without being Like Mighty Ducks has a villain that's the dude's just an unrepentant asshole.
Right.
Like he's a piece of shit.
Right.
The rival coach. That doesn't exist in this movie really, outside of a couple pockets and their side characters. Like all the characters that are the regulars, beyond the one kid and his dad, are all just pretty normal people, and they're able to tell a really, really fun story, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the first time I watched it in a very long time, and there's parts I forgot, and like this is fucking hilarious for this old film and everything. Like it still holds up. Like I was like, damn, I was very impressed. I forgot about the John Madden part. What?
Yeah.
When he popped up, I was like, wait, what? I was so surprised.
When the bus pulls up and he gets out, Joey's like, I totally forgot about this.
Holy shit, is in here? Let's go.
How are you going to forget about John Madden, dude?
And this is a John Madden at the height of his powers, John Madden.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'd start talking. He has my attention right away. I was like, oh, no.
This isn't John Madden and Pat Summerall, which, by the way, the replacements.
Excellent
Excellent. Summerall is an icon in sports for me.
Oh yeah.
When you talk about broadcasting, but
him
John
and like Vince
Madden,
Scully, top tier stuff.
But like this was great just to have this cameo. You know, it was a really good moment of like feel good, but it brought in kind of like the current legacy of football in the mid '90s at that point, made it all relevant and made sense. And then just to get John Madden doing John Maddenisms for just 5 minutes was really cool.
Yeah, and the map bit just with as a Telecaster. It's fantastic. That is some excellent cameo stuff there.
And Rick Moranis' character, Coach, do you have any advice? Good luck. Good luck.
And then it becomes really heartwarming. Like they have multiple bits where like everyone gets a bit of a heart. Even the rival coach, the dad, has a couple great moments with his niece. Despite it did not start great with them. Right. You know, you're first going in like, man, he's just kind of a dick to his own family, and then comes around. So any other quick thoughts on did we enjoy it before we get into some facts and figures here?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was definitely like just watching it reminded me of like being 10 years old, sitting on a couch on a Saturday morning watching this movie on ABC or Disney Channel or whatever the heck. And then but you look at this, it's crazy to think, but this is a 90s movies for kids, and it's like challenging gender norms in 94.
Yeah.
Like that's like nowadays watching this movie, it's like they actually did a really good job of this 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
30 years ago,
yeah.
It's not treated like an outlier that she's playing football. You know what I mean? Like nobody really other than some of the kids, none of the adults really make a comment about it. It's just she's playing football.
Yeah.
You know? Like that was cool.
The community knows her as the Icebox, and they all love her. Right. They all think she's like a tough girl. But you're right, Chris, because they don't say that there's no typical jokes.
And there's something about a rule that says a girl can't play. Like it's like, not a plot point, really.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so like that, and there's no jokes about her orientation. Kind of like in late '90s, that snark would kind of be in a movie, right? Mm-hmm. They don't call her a tomboy, nothing like that. They just call her the Icebox, and it's like, okay, that's cool. Like, okay, it's accepted there, and you know, it's a plot point, obviously, of the movie, like you said, Chris, because it's like that coming of age. What's like she's trying to, the idea of figuring herself out. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's not over the top. They don't shove it down your throat, or they don't even like go too lighthearted about. I mean, like take it lightly. It's a really I going back and watching it. It's like this was really well written in the '90s, considering like just the idea of like the conception of like the perception of like just gender norms in society at the time. I thought, you're right. I thought it was really, really well written.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So speaking of writing, let's get into the director and the writer and the screenplay and all that jazz. This movie released in October 14th, 1994. It had a budget of about $20 million. Only made at the box office $19.3, I think. Let me go actually to the box office. Did that include? Yeah, that was just box office returns. So in terms of theatrical release, did not make its money. I tried looking a few different times in terms of how many copies sold, like how well did it do on, physical media. But I have a suspicion it's done quite well long term and definitely probably made its money back. But with Hollywood accounting, who knows? some of those things get weird. Like, Men in Black technically never made a profit somehow. Hollywood, baby. So what was I going to say? Oh, it was directed by Dwayne Dunham. And Chris, you said something about ABC and Disney, and I was like, ooh, I have a plot point about that in my note sheet right here. So
segues.
Dwayne Dunham is mostly known originally more as an editor of film. He was an editor, I think he was the lead editor of Return of the Jedi, as well as an assistant on the prior 2 Star Wars films. Also worked a bunch with David Lynch. He directed some of Twin Peaks, and I believe the Revival series as well. And he was an editor also on Blue Velvet. He directed Homeward Bound, which came out, I think, the year before this. And then he was also a director of a number of Disney movies, particularly one that sticks out in my brain for some reason is The 13th Year. That one I remember. And he directed that one. Obviously starring Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill as the O'Shea brothers. You have Susanna Thompson. She's the Arrow's mom from The Arrow. She plays Patty Floyd. Devon Sawa as her son Junior. And then Shannon Waldron as Becky, a.k.a. the Icebox. Those are kind of the big, players in the movie. To a lesser extent, Susanna Thompson. She's just mostly playing the love interest for Rick Moranis. But any other, you guys want to give a shout out to any cast that you guys recognize from anything else?
I don't know anybody other than Rick Moranis or Ed O'Neill in this film.
Okay, you know Devon Sawa. He was filming Casper right before he shot this. You've never seen Casper?
I don't know if I've ever seen Casper.
Okay. Wait, Devon Sawa, this was his big blow up movie because this came out I think before Casper, but it was shot after Casper because timing is weird. And he shot a bunch of movies kind of very quickly.
Well, he's also known for Final Destination as well. So,
yes. Yep. And he's had a number of other properties come out. And one of my favorite shows that I've tried to get you to watch, he's a recurring character in Nikita. He plays a side character in that one.
That's still on my Amazon wish list.
Yep, it's a great show. You should watch it.
Yeah. And who's the main girl in that again?
Oh, that's Maggie Q.
Maggie Q. That's it. Yep.
And he plays a great character in that one. And he's just kind of been around Hollywood. He was one of those childhood heartthrob actors that still kept acting and finding smaller roles and doing some things here and there in different franchises. And I believe wasn't he part of the Chucky stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. That was never my franchise, but I remember him being a part of that, as well as the new series a few years ago. And then obviously if your NFL personalities, you have John Madden, Steve Entman, Bruce Smith, Emmitt Smith, and Tim Brown.
Of that group, Edmund was the only one that a lot of people don't remember because he came in, had a good year, and then after, not the season after this movie, he blew out his knee, and then that was it. He was he struggled, and he was out of the league in 2-3 years. So
yeah. And the other 3 all had, good to great to Hall of Fame careers.
I mean, arguably one of the best wide receivers with Tim Brown, the best running back in Emmitt Smith, one of the best defensive linemen ever in Bruce Smith. Yeah, it's just that was a hell of a lineup for a cameo like that. Yeah, it was cool.
Yep. And the whole bit, like I said, with John Madden pulling out the map and doing the telecast, just
I was
trying to get
perfect.
The Canton.
We gotta hit Canton, we gotta hit it hard. like Sean Madden.
We don't know where we are.
We're going to Canton. We're gonna hit it hard because we gotta get some partying. Damn, John Madden. All right. What else did I have on my notes here? Jeez. I was gonna also say, did you know what the inspiration for this film was?
No.
I'm gonna send you guys a link. Chat, we will put this in, not chat, geez, I'm talking like I'm on a live stream. We will put this in the description, but it was actually, originally they wanted to make this movie. I think it was Spielberg. It was we need to make a football, Home Alone kind of comedy with football because of a 1982 McDonald's football commercial about Pee Wee football. It was in the Super Bowl in 1992. It's a minute and a half long. Let me actually get to my links here.
Wow.
It was it's very 90s. Hang on.
I will say there early in the movie, one of the kids doesn't get drafted for Ed O'Neill's team, he gets sad and he drops Reese's Pieces, and I was just like, there. Is that an ET reference for any reason?
Yeah, you were very ET-esque.
Yeah, I have it muted on my screen, just running in the background, but I did put the link in there. It's a minute 30 football commercial. And what was the direct quote? I have it here. Production. Film was inspired by a 1992 McDonald's Super Bowl commercial. According to the Baltimore Sun, after seeing the commercial, Spielberg contacted them and said, I want that commercial made into a movie. I want my Home Alone. And then it would be filmed just about 2 years later, give or take, when they actually got through the process. And it was produced by Amblin Entertainment. That was the production company that made the film, who was founded by Spielberg. That was his production company that he started in, I want to say it was 1980, because it was after his first couple big blow-up movies. So that's the genesis of how this movie was made, based on a commercial for McDonald's.
I totally remember this commercial, and I didn't realize, I didn't connect the two. Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, and it's got, like, I'm just watching it now, and it's got the two guys, the two dads holding up as the field goal post, and they did that in the movie. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you got the kids dancing after scoring and everything, like it's a great little commercial that turned into a great little movie.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, and another big note for Ed O'Neill. This was actually in the middle of the original run or the start of Married with Children. He was actually doing both at the same time. So it wasn't like after, like moved on to movies. He was doing both.
No. Because Married with Children started in 88 or 89. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was very late 80s. I want to say it was
89.
So
they were like in season. They were like in season.
Yeah, it was like
4.
While filming though, because this was filmed in 93,
yes.
I think. And then, or 90, early 94. And then it was several more years later that show ran. Went it through 97?
It went 10 years. It went 87 and 97. It was 10 seasons.
Yeah. So it was just right there in the middle. And then he would take a little break and come back with Modern Family, which is another maybe greatest sitcom of all time.
I do want to talk about Ed O'Neill because he's a guy that, if you go back and watch documentaries about Fox Television when it first debuted and Married with Children came out, he's great because he's such a nice guy, but like it was such a weird role for him because he was a stage actor. Like that was his thing. He was a big time stage actor and he wanted to get in television and film. And, he got approached by Fox to do this role. And he was like, this is something very interesting, but somewhat cutting edge, because back then Fox and Married with Children were very cutting edge, what they were doing. And so he took it on, but like right after this, he got the bit in Wayne's World. I think in season 1 or 2 of season 1 or 2, maybe even the third season of Married with Children. And then he did this one like a year or two later. But he lost a lot of weight for this role. So when he came back, like immediately after wrapping this movie, he like ended up gaining, like he fed himself a lot to gain weight because he has to look schluppy for Married with Children. It didn't make sense for him to look like lean and in shape to come in like that. He's supposed to be a tortured man on that show. So yeah, but he like lost a lot of weight as soon as they wrapped the previous season, and then he did this movie, and then he gained it all back. Yeah. So, but he's fantastic in this movie, man. He is.
Oh yeah,
he's great.
Yeah, it works great because, like I said, with the comp to Mighty Ducks, he's not a bad guy.
No,
he's the antagonist role, but he's not a bad guy.
No,
it's just a brother that doesn't understand his own brother, and that's really the gist of it.
That scene with Icebox in the diner, that was the one that always tore me because it's like he's not a bad guy, and is he trying to play his family? No, he's not. He loves his family. He really loves his niece. Like the way he talks to her and looks at her, it's like it's a very like Ed O'Neill does a great job of like conveying that emotion. Like, yeah, I'm a hard ass, but I love my niece. Like I still love my niece. And so I thought I love the interaction between those two.
And the going after the kid's dad to be like, he pulls that crap again, he's gone.
Like he's he's like, I'm a sports, like then you get it's like he's not a bad guy. He's just a hard ass because he's a sportsman. That's really it.
He's just dedicated to football.
Football, yeah.
Other notes for me from the cast. This was I believe Sawa was not actually going to be playing Junior. I think Jonathan Taylor Thomas was up for it. I never actually found who really was actually cast originally. He came in much later in the production compared to most of the other kids. So behind the scenes, he said those first couple weeks were pretty tough because he was the outside kid. They didn't get introduced at the same time. They weren't shooting all at the same time. And then eventually everybody warmed up, and he says he's still in contact with most of the cast. And then the coach O'Shea's, Ed O'Neill's youngest daughter, is played by she's changed her last name a couple times, but it's I think Alexa Vega. She was the star of the first Spy Kids film.
Spy Kids, yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Latin actress.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
And this was her first film role.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yep.
Did not know.
And she was in a Tarantino Grindhouse, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in.
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah.
Was it called Grindhouse?
No, Terror. What's it called? Something Terror. I can't think of the name of the movie.
It was that one with the. It was like the vignette one, right?
Yes, like not Planet Terror. I don't remember. It was,
Yeah.
but it was a Grindhouse film. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which one, but I vaguely remember that era of Tarantino. So for me, one of my big notes was, man, this is definitely a 90s movie because this town is a small town and it has a thriving car dealership. As my first note of like, because I remember growing up, like Joe, you remember the old Chevy dealership in Buffalo Center? Like a small town like that could have a actually like a viable car dealership. You could sell new and used cars, make a lot of money. And is this a town of Buffalo's maybe 600 people? You know, it's like that's a very 90s thing.
No, that is a very 90s thing because I grew up in a small town right outside of Houston, and you wanted to go to the best car dealerships, they were out in the country. You drove out an hour to 2 hours outside of Houston to the country to get to the best car dealerships.
Oh, it's funny because like there's very like brand bias in that like you only bought
it's a Chevy dealership, right?
Chevy dealership in Buffalo and stuff like that. It was always funny to see that.
I think it was Severson. I think I remember right. Now it's a seed dealer. They ripped out the hoists. My dad was pissed. That's where he got his truck serviced.
Yeah,
and they sold it to a seed shop. Like, who the fuck needs hoists in a seed shop?
Oh man!
In case you didn't know, me and Joey live in a farm town.
Yes, just a little bit.
Yep. What about you guys? Any other thoughts on the movie before we get into scores and such?
Very football accurate when you really think about Pee Wee football.
Having coached youth, yes.
A lot of running.
A lot of running.
Very little pass plays.
What I mean is it's not so like just fake. It felt like they really did a good job of like making sure it felt like a Pee Wee football game. Yeah. Now, of course, they had slapstick moments like the
kid going into the turf.
Seltzer when he ran over Rad Tad or whatever, he was like imprinted in the ground. Like they had the stickums and like all that stuff was like very over the top. But what I mean is like the actual gameplay throughout. When you're watching the gameplay, it's like okay, it looks pretty solid. Like these guys, like these kids were trained on how to, run plays, which was like impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
The kid lifting up the shirt as the playbook.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
No joke. When I was coaching youth basketball, I had a kid write a diagram on his arm in a practice. Obviously, I was like, "You gotta wash that off. We can't do that during a game." But like that kind of thing of like, because I coach kids that never played, like in 6th grade, 5th grade basketball, had never picked up a ball. A lot of same concepts here of like, literally, I need to teach you how to get from point A to point B without falling over your face and losing the ball. And the kids just constantly just running around like their heads cut off, and you're just like, I guess we'll vaguely try to get you shepherded in the right direction. Like it absolutely hits that vibe with the Rick Moranis team, absolutely. And I've played against some teams that were coached like the Ed O'Neill team, where they got their shit together, and it's like, guys, we're playing 6th grade basketball. Why are you trying to 50-point us? Can we not full court press in the 4th quarter? I don't care about learning moments in the 4th quarter right now. I need to get the ball off the court so we can learn. Like, oh my God.
Went to like one of my nieces, I was just like 4th grade basketball tournaments down like Marshalltown. And there was definitely a team there that they all could dribble like left and right hand.
Yep.
And they knew plays. And like they definitely did like, they got up to like, it was like 40 to like 10. And the coach just kind of called it and just,
It's like, we're good.
It's just like totally different.
It's a weird world, youth sports. And it's only gotten weirder since the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, who wants to talk scores? Fusion, it was your collection movie.
Okay.
So, just for the audience's edification and education, this season we're going to do a little bit more, hey, give it an actual ranking. Doesn't have to be super firm, but just kind of ballpark it on the Letterboxd scale, 1 through 5.
Okay. I'm going to take it just like Letterboxd. You have 5 stars. I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 stars out of 5.
Excellent. That's actually my ranking as well, and I gave it the liked because it's not a 4.
Yes.
It's not an 8 out of 10 movie, right?
No.
Right.
It's a 7.
Right.
But it's a really damn good 7.
It's
I think we talked. Go ahead.
I'll watch the movie and I'll enjoy myself, but I'm never gonna go out of my way to watch this movie.
No, there are some of those movies that are like 6 out of 10 movies that are still worthwhile to watch. Multiple times, right? That are not bad. I think Transformers: Rise of the Beast for me was a 6 out of 10, but it was a good 6 out of 10. Let me put it like that. So yeah,
that's a pretty good like modern comp in terms of like the pocket this is in.
Yeah.
Gamma, what about you? What do you got?
Oh, 3.5 for me as well. Like, yeah, I was like, what are these guys gonna rate it? Because I'd probably put it at 3.5, and then we've got 2 3.5s already. And it's like, oh yeah, we're all on the same page here. It seems like.
Joey, are we gonna make it an even 3.5 out of everybody? Are you gonna pull a annexation of Puerto Rico?
No annexation of Puerto Rico here.
You mean a Godfather?
Back here. But no, it'll be a 3.5 because I'm still because it's not like I'm gonna seek out to watch it, but if I did sit down to watch it, it's gonna be quite entertaining. It's not like no, it's not my Godfather,
Yep.
It's not...
And
you're sitting on the couch, you're not feeling good, your stomach's bothering you. You open up Tubi and you see a free Little Giants. You're like, I'm gonna watch that.
You know what? Have a seat for a while.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to put in my letterbox the official Box Office Shuffle account, which will also be linked in the description below. I'm going to put the annexation of Puerto Rico as the greatest trick play of all time.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. And as soon as he said Fumble Rooski, I got to give a little like tangential shout out. Andy Reid, I have Bundle Rooski stuck in my head. That commercial is so good.
The Bundle Rooski.
Andy Reid is too good. Like, I want to hate the Chiefs, but Andy Reid is fucking awesome.
Why is he good in the commercials?
The chicken nuggies one was the
give
one
me
that
them
gets
nuggies.
Yeah.
Give me nuggies.
Damn.
He is.
And the mustache, the Sharpie one. Oh,
dude, yes. Oh
God, he's
Yeah,
too
you know
good.
who he reminds me of?
But the first one he did was the field painter that spelled chefs.
Yeah,
he's like chefs, but the best part about that is, as they're panning away and they're like the voiceover guys starting off, you hear him kind of like being phased out, but you hear Andy Reid go, "Good Lord Almighty," and that's just like awesome.
He's too funny.
I hate that him and Travis Kelce are so likable off the field.
Yes,
because I want to root against them every single week, but
yeah, I want to root against them like the '90s Cowboys, but I can't.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, you've got Pat Mahomes, and I think you can dislike Pat Mahomes.
Maybe,
I think
but even him, it's not like he's more likable than Aikman was in the '90s. He's
true.
more likable than Brady.
That's very true. Well, both of those guys did exactly exude charisma,
right? And Mahomes is, he's a showman.
Yeah.
There's something to that. They're a team, like they're a show team and a productive team, which is fucking
annoying.
But it's
so funny because they're a show team, but they're in Kansas fucking City. Like,
I know.
That's the best part of it's not they're not on the Giants. They're not, they're
not in LA.
The Cowboys. They're not in LA. Hell, they're not even in New Orleans. They're in
Kansas City.
Like, that's just the best part about that whole thing. Like, everyone's so tired of this, but it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
I know. It's oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, we should, now that we've wrapped up, we're going to do a consensus 3.5. So no, we don't have to do any averages, no calculator. I like it. Get a little out of here in case you can't tell. I got a little frog in the throat. Woke up with a sore throat. We're going to go over to the next host screen because this was a guest movie. So we actually have to pick who's going to be the next wheel spinner. So we got our 3 hosts here. We got me, we got Joe, we got Gamma in the wheel. Let's mute this tab. Let's spin it away. Let's see who's going to be. Oh, wait. I unmuted. Mute site. Ooh, we're going to Gamma's list.
Oh, that sucks because I forgot to add all of my new movies on there.
Well, while I'm opening your list, Chris, any like for sure you're like absolutely put this one in. Because
yes. Put The Accountant on there
Oh,
I have not seen that.
So good.
The Accountant.
And put let's put Secret Life of Walter Mitty on there.
Ooh, good pull.
okay.
Good
and
pull.
let's put Unleashed.
I don't know if you know this. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Joe, were you in that Reader's Theater, or were you not quite in the Readers yet? Because that Reader's Theater was
That's
we had a
you
drama
probably
club.
did the old Secret
Yeah,
Life of Walter Mitty.
It was pre the movie, so we did this as a stage play, like a 15-minute
there
stage
was
play.
an old movie.
Yeah, it was. That's what it was based on.
a
And
60s movie or something.
We did it, and I think we got honorable mention state, like go to state with it.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It was a good one. I
Non-form.
enjoyed that one.
I like it. It's a good movie.
I was not part of that. Won't you just do
And then did you add Unleashed?
Oh, Unleashed. I'll add that as well.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's
Danny the dog.
before we spin that though. I'm gonna take us back to the main scene because I got a few to
Oh,
show
yeah.
off. What I added.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. Go back. Which scene am I? Nope. I don't want to change the collection. I want to change the
Panic.
4cam. There we go. Of course, for Christmas, I got Godzilla -1. Excellent movie.
Yes.
And on a Groove, which is I think Universal technically owns Groove, they had a sale on Peacemaker season 1 for $9. Just bought that. I got
Nice.
Fast 1 through 8. I don't really care about 9 and 10. I didn't enjoy them, but 1 through 8, you get Fast 5 out of it and the first one.
Mhm.
For like it was $13 for all 8 movies. And then
Oh yeah.
my most recent collection, one that has yet to show up, but my most recent is The Nice Guys. I love this movie.
I haven't seen that, but I want to.
It's
The way
so
you
good.
the way you talked about it the last time we were picking a movie to watch.
And I got the
It looks-
Constantine 4K coming.
Oh, yeah.
Keanu 4K.
Nice.
I got the Steelbook coming this month. It's gonna be awesome. All right, let's go back to the wheel list. And Joe, did you add anything to your list?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Well, we'll
With
probably have to
stuff.
follow up when we get to your collection, either next week or the week after. All right, spin wheel. Here we go. The wheel.
I'll have to
is
I'll have to
going.
add all the rest of the ones that I got, but I got like 28 movies.
Ooh.
We just added 3, but
Wait. Oh, we have City Slickers pulled from Chris's
Oh.
list.
Yeah.
You were like you went ooh, and I was like, is it City Slickers? I've been wanting to watch City Slickers on this for so long. Yes.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Oh God, I'm
Oh,
gonna look this up quick. City Slickers.
Yes.
Wait, is that the?
so good.
91.
Yeah, the Western comedy. Billy
Yeah.
Crystal.
Good.
Yeah.
Billy
Crystal, Jack
Crystal.
Palance.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yeah, this was a 1991 film, so we're sticking in the 90s
There we
for
go.
our
a-
next
that's a-
film.
Gamma came into the world year movie.
Indeed. All right. Well, that'll be our next film. We'll shoot the trailer in our Discord community, see if anybody wants to watch along with us. And then we'll be back here in a couple weeks for, I think this will be episode 13 with City Slickers. And it'll be after the Super Bowl, but I think before President's Day, maybe? Because we might try to get it in before me and Joey go to see Captain America, Brave New World.
Captain
Ooh,
America.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be the plan. Thank you to our panel today. Obviously, our guest Fusion for joining us for the first time. I'm sure we'll have
Gentlemen,
him
always
on.
a pleasure watching movies and talking film with you guys.
Exactly,
yeah.
and I'm sure he'll be back because
I'm
originally
sure.
we built the show to have him in the show, and then
Yeah,
life
that
happened.
that was the original plan, but adulting got in the way.
Life
happened.
Life got in the way, but we're making it work. We got him in this time, and I got some other ideas for this season, and we'll see what we can do. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you for our next episode.
Yep.
We should do like a roll credits thing for the outro.
Lasso.
Yeah, we'll do that in the
like
future, people. Roll credits, and then it'll
There you
just
go.
like
roll credits.
it'll just like pan up with a like a Looney Tune style. Like that's all, folks. Yeah.
We could go by era of movie to see be like, all right, we're gonna pick an 80s era credit song where it's just like Whitney Houston or something.
Yeah, we get a hard like 90s sci-fi. We'll do like some Rage Against the Machine or something.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, yeah, we're out of here. Bye.